again. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business administrator. I'm glad that you're with me. This is a beautiful day. Kind of cloudy outside. A little bit cooler. I like it. Every day I get up and I do all my chores around the house and watering the flowers and everything. And I look around and I say, you know what? Nature's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's nice and green. If you're in California, it's brown. But over here on the East Coast, it's nice and green. And you just enjoy getting up early in the morning because you know that you're going to be drinking in some nice fresh air. And your mind is not on work. It's not on client issues. It's on just a peaceful part of life. That's taking care of nature around the house. Listen, I'm getting kind of frustrated and fed up with the White House, the Federal Reserve. I'm tired of Yellen always coming out and saying, no, we're not in a recession. She said the exact same thing, that we were not in an inflationary period, and she was wrong. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And then she comes out again in the last couple of days and says, no, we're not in a recession. I'm sorry, people. Let's just tell the truth. Come on, White House, tell the truth. Yellen, tell the truth. Economists out there, tell the truth. We are in a recession. There's nothing about it. We are in a recession. In fact, Forbes magazine came out with an article, and several people have come out with an article that says that we are in a recession. One of the highlights of this article in Forbes, it says, a highly watched economic indicator with a good track record in predicting recessions cut its forecast for second quarter gross domestic product growth this week, implying the nation has fallen into a recession. We have fallen into a recession. In fact, what defines a recession is when economic slowdown begins. Now, the White House is portraying a different picture. They're lying to you. I'm telling you right now, the White House and Biden and Yellen, they're all lying to you. We are in a recession. We have had several months now, almost a full year of economic downturn. And right now, the job market is not that strong because we're seeing more and more layoffs every single day. Companies are beginning to ramp back and say, okay, let's slow it down. Let's not hire at the moment because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen that's coming out of Washington. We don't know what Congress is going to do. We don't know what the White House is going to do. We don't know what Biden's going to do. What new taxes are coming our way. What new spending is coming our way that is going to boost inflation again. Businesses are in limbo. They're on pause. White House loves, and Clintons love to use that phrase, let's push the pause button. Well, businesses have pushed the pause button because they see an economy that is not growing. They see a supply chain that is not being fixed. They see higher taxes to businesses under the Biden Build Back Better plan. They see a whole bunch of indicators out there that says, okay, we've got to slow down. We have lots of inventory at the moment, but we can't sell it because consumers are not buying. Those are the very keys to what happens in a recession. The first thing that happens during a recession is that the economy slows down. This means that businesses are producing less and consumer spending is down. However, the other part of that on consumer spending is that when they do spend, they're using their credit cards. And now at this very moment in time, people are now maxed out on their credit cards. Debt has risen from the consumer. So this can lead to layoffs as businesses try to cut costs. And this is what is happening now. During this time, there's a significant decline in the demand for goods and services, and we're seeing that every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't listen to the the magicians coming out of the White House because they are absolutely idiots. Let's call it what it is. We are in a recession. Businesses are beginning to cut back. Businesses are laying people off. Businesses are not filling open job spots at the moment. The economy is stalling tremendously. Now, if you want to listen to the individuals out of Wall Street, they are going to try to convince you to keep spending your money. That's their job. They want you to keep investing in these new schemes that they have out there. That's their job. That's what they do. So they're never going to tell you that anything's bad until it really drops out and everything is bad. But right now, they know that you've been convinced that there's no recession, but there is a recession. Americans feel this recession. They feel it in the pocketbook. They feel it when they go to buy gas. 40-cent drop, it's not good enough. They feel it when they go to the grocery store. They feel it when they go purchase clothing. They feel it when they try to travel. At the moment, I'm trying to plan a trip to Europe because I haven't traveled in over 5 years. I haven't gone anywhere. I've been stuck in the house because of the pandemic, stuck now because of inflation, and I finally had to bite the bullet and say, okay, I've got to go someplace. Otherwise, my mental health is going to be absolutely bonkers if I don't go someplace. So I've been planning this trip to London and up to Scotland and over to France and then home again. Trying to plan this and try to keep the costs down takes an everyday focus almost because you're always monitoring prices. For me to fly over to London, the first leg of my journey, just a one-way ticket there was a little over $600. Coming back, it's over $1,000 from Paris. Now we could get it a few years ago. We could get those for very cheap prices, almost $600, $700, $800, $900 for round-trip tickets, depending on what deals were out there. Now we're spending a fortune on travel just for me to get from here to Los Angeles, from the East Coast to Los Angeles. The prices are so expensive. Yeah, so I had to make a call. Should I go to California to visit friends, or should I go to Europe and get some peace of mind and experience something different? I chose to go to Europe. But the cost of travel is outrageous. The value that you get at the hotels sometimes is tremendously bad. Sometimes they do not even make up your room. You could be there 3 days and they will not make up your room. Now, like in Europe, now you have to pay for everything. You got to pay for Wi-Fi. You got to pay for breakfast in the morning. You've got to pay for all these to make up your room. It's absolutely staggering what they're charging you for, and you're getting less. Paying more, but getting less. When you go to a restaurant, you're paying more, but you're getting less. I hate that. When you go to a restaurant where you used to get a good portion of food, now you get just a little bite. I mean, literally, it's a bite. But we are in a recession, and it's time that politicians start saying we're in a recession so that we can get on with it. It's time that the White House says, okay, we are now in a recession. Let's get on with it and let's try to solve these issues. But they're not even trying to solve the issues. And that is why we are staggering. This is why this is going to last longer than what it should, because no one is doing anything. Now, the Federal Reserve is supposed to either today or sometime this week sit down with their people and say, okay, are we going to raise interest rates? We don't know what the percentage that they'll go up yet. I mean, everybody's spouting what they think is going to happen, but we don't know. Now, the problem is that the Federal Reserve should have done this months ago on raising interest rates. It would have helped the inflationary numbers to get down so that maybe by this time, If they would have done it 6 months ago or 8 months ago, if they would have done it back then, maybe at this time we would have been a little bit better off than where we stand now. We would have had a little bit more progress in the economy, a little bit more progress in job creating and hiring people back. But that didn't happen. So now we're like a slug, which is slowly moving because the powers that could help inflation have acted too slowly. And that is not good. When people act too slowly, that means that the rest of us suffer. And that's what has happened to the American people. We have suffered because of slowness of action by government. And they keep lying to us. No, there's no inflation. No, there's no recession. No, the economy's good. No, but we see otherwise. When we see every single day that companies are laying off. Auto manufacturer laid off 8,000 people. Elon Musk at Tesla laid off several hundred people. Google has said, no more hiring. Freeze. Facebook has said, get rid of the slackers. If they're not producing, get rid of them. Because they know that they have got to have solid people in place to keep their business going. If you've got slackers in there, and every business is saying this now, if we have slackers, we've got to get rid of them. If we have people who are not producing, we've got to get rid of them. And that is just the terms of a recession. You keep the individuals who are going to keep your business alive. And you get rid of the people who are just dragging the costs of doing business. You cannot be a nice guy in a recession. I'm sorry to say that. No one can be a nice guy in a recession. If you operate a small business to a large business, you cannot be a nice guy during the recession. Because you've got to cut those costs in order to keep your company going. It's just a fact. And so we're seeing it right now in the recession where companies are letting go of people. It's just the part of a recession. So that's why I think we need to be honest with the American people. As I'm trying to be honest with you, we are in a recession. We have had months of a downturn in the economy. We have. Downturn to me is when you and I have to pay so much to survive. To get to work, it costs us more. Some of us have had to take on a second job, a third job, a side gig, just trying to earn enough money to pay the bills because our debt is so high. We've maxed out our credit cards. Housing is hurting at the moment. Adjustable rate loans are being called in. So we have an issue, and we're going to see it get worse. That's why I've kept telling you, monitor your banks to see how well they're doing. Spread your money out. Have some cash at home. Act wisely. That's all that you can do at the moment, because we are in a recession. Live with it. And we have got to go forward. But if government is going to continue to lie to us, if Yellen and Biden and all those people are going to continue to lie to the American people, we get nowhere. Listen, this is Mike Lodge, the business advisor. If you want more access to me, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodge-co.com. We're in a recession. Let's live with it. Let's move forward. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.